Alright. Hello everyone, my name is Skywalker. The Y is a V because we don't ask questions, we're Vop with the period, just take the blessing. I'm an ambassador for a black-owned digital media hub called Kanai. I'm at their studio today and we're going to learn how I like to stack my plugins in Logic Pro X with Antares.
Let's get into it right now. This is my track, it's still waiting. And right now, the way that I like to arrange all of my plugins, I like to start with all of the distortion first. Distortion meaning like, if you have an original audio file, when you put a plugin on it and it alters that original data, that is distorting that original file. So distortion happens in a lot of ways, like people be having intentional distortion. Intentional distortion when you have like an 808 that's not hitting hard enough. So you add a plugin, one of my favorite plugins I like to add to an 808, overdrive. Overdrive is gonna add a lot of distortion to that 808, so it hit a little harder, you feel it in your ear. EQ, I will say, is intentional distortion, but also unintentional, where a lot of people use EQ to make the vocal sound really crispy and clear, but you're also just distorting the vocal in general. Whereas if you EQ in the vocal and you don't know what you're doing, it can sound very muddy. It can be fried to the point where you bring up the highs too much. So it's not really considered a distortion tool. However, it distorts the audio. And it's something that I like to pay attention to when sequencing all of my plugins. So first plugin I got in here is the EQ. The EQ is literally, to me, the mastermind of, oh yeah, we about to distort this whole audio. It's the first thing artists be wanting to throw on here. I'm one of the artists that be wanting to throw it as the first thing. And it gets a lot of the heavy lifting of the job done. So I love the EQ. I believe this is the parametric EQ, the channel EQ. The regular channel EQ does a lot of heavy lifting in Logic for me, always set up first. And of course, I have the Antares Auto-Tune set up second, because Auto-Tune is also distortion. It is not going to have that audio file the same as it was before you put it on there. And you also have the channel EQ going on there as well. The heavy distortion to the audio file, I like to add first. I like to add that first. So then I add my auto-tune. After adding my auto-tune, I add my reverb. I use the space designer inside of Logic Pro, because Logic Pro is a $200 application. A whole $200 application, I'm telling you. As soon as you get these plugins, use them. They are one of the best plugins that you're able to use out there. Space Designer, I was first introduced to Space Designer in 2018 from my man's Ev. And oh my goodness, I've used reverb inside of other DAWs. and I'm not trying to put any other DAWs down. So the Space Designer in Logic, very good, very, very well. You get a lot of control in what it is that you get to do with the DAW, but also is very easy to read. One of the things I like about Logic in general. So you got your dry and wet right here, low spread, high spread, it's all easily comprehensible, it's very clear. They provide visual graphics to go along with the plugins. Always amazing, always amazing. I'm not gonna hold you, I don't add the, I do not be adding the reverb third. I like to put my de-esser third, always. Like EQ, auto-tune, de-esser. And it's because, I'm not gonna hold you, people say add a de-esser, and I still can't hear the de-esser. Like, my ear is not trained enough to where I'm like, okay, it's de-esser. The de-esser wouldn't work at all if it wasn't there. So I added on there as the third thing, know that it's there. I don't really change much about it. And then after that, I go straight into the delays. I use the delay designer from Logic as well. When it comes to delays, I just mess around until it sounds good. Turn it down real quick, nothing crazy. And then I put the reverb. Then I put the reverb after all of that. Channel EQ, auto-tune, de-esser, delay designer, the reverb, all the distortion. All the distortion coming first. And now when it comes to compression, Compression is what I like to do at the very end, because you done messed around with changing up the original audio already. So with all the distortion, now you can compress it and level it out to where it needs to be. It seems like I need to be right here for the camera to pay attention. All right, so then I add my compressor. Logic has a really good compressor, but from what I learned when it comes to mixing, that's not a little mixing video, that's a whole nother video. Definitely tidbit, bring your track to the next level. Use multiple compressors. Don't be scared, And it's not really about if you're scared. Save your money and buy more compressors. Save your money and buy more equipment. Yes. Right now, I'm using a Logic Pro compressor. I also got some compressors from UAD right now. They not in the video though. And then I got a vocal compressor from Antares. I love using this vocal compressor from Antares, and that's not just because they provided me a special link that you can use to get their products at a specially discounted price. It is because Antares vocal compressor uses a 2-chain sequence where you're able to mess around with the threshold and the gain in one channel, and then there's a whole nother channel after being filtered through that first to do more compression. So now you got 3 compressors automatically in one joint. Come on. That's you could pay for 3 compressors, or you can get Antares and get 3 off the rip if you got a dog. That's the juice right there. You could pay for 3 compressors, or you can get Antares and get 3 off the rip if you got a dog. That's the juice right there. So I like using the vocal compressor from Antares as well. It gives me one of the most crispiest vocals I have had in my whole music production career. And I'm producing this myself. I'm the artist. I'm producing this myself. And everybody's telling me it sounds good. But I don't care about what everybody say. I know it sounds good. I'm gonna play this for y'all real quick.
Now I'm getting bands, got my hand in a palm. Said I'm a busy little lady, try to link me to.
Yeah.
This is the raw vocal with no effects.
Let's go. I know they waiting for the day that I'm on. Tell their friends they knew me cause they know that I'm gone. Now I got the check, I bet they check what I'm doing. Ain't no telling me to chill, man. I know shorty gonna buzz me, we gon' link while we torn. Loving when I put in work, got me mowing the lawn. Break it down, get it jiggy, we gon' break to the dawn.
And again, one of the clearest vocals I have been able to garner throughout my whole 5 years of making music.
Now I'm getting bands, got my hand in the palm. Said I'm a busy little lady, try to link me tomorrow.
Well, that is my video showing everybody how I like to sequence all my tracks in Logic Pro X. You will be able to listen to this song on my SoundCloud. The project is called The Return. Thank you for tuning in to my tutorial at Kanai. You can download our app, join our journey as one of the leading digital media hubs. And again, you can click on my link to get some of the latest Antares software. My name is Skywalker, the Y is a V, because we don't ask questions, we're vibe at the period. Just take the blessing and I'm out.